The tension was palpable the moment the cameras rolled. You could feel it in the air, the kind of charged energy that makes everyone hold their breath, waiting for the inevitable. What was supposed to be a routine dressing room session quickly spiraled into something no one could have predicted. Rasheeda, known for her fiery temperament and unshakable confidence, was caught on camera confronting Jasmine, whose usually calm demeanor suddenly cracked under pressure. The footage that has now surfaced shows fans exactly why the reality world loves and fears her. Emotions ran high, voices were raised, and what started as a minor disagreement exploded into a full-blown confrontation that left everyone in shock. Witnesses described the scene as chaotic, with clothes tossed aside, chairs shifted, and words thrown like daggers. Some say it was years of tension finally boiling over, while others argue it was an instant reaction to a comment that hit too close to home. You will see Rasheeda snapping in a way that fans rarely expect, and Jasmine fighting back with a mix of disbelief and defiance. The family was left divided, friends were stunned, and social media erupted the moment clips leaked. Every viewer is asking the same question. What really triggered this dressing room battle, and how far will the fallout go? Stick around, because what you're about to witness is raw, unfiltered, and completely shocking, a fight that will be talked about for weeks. You're about to get the full story, every heated word, every stunned reaction, and every twist that turned a seemingly ordinary day into an unforgettable showdown. Fans are shocked, the drama is real, and the tension is just beginning to unravel. The dressing room was tense from the very first second, and you could feel the energy shift the moment Rasheeda walked in. Jasmine had been trying on outfits for the upcoming event, humming softly to herself, unaware that the storm was about to hit. Rasheeda's entrance wasn't subtle. Her heels clicked sharply against the marble floor, echoing in the room and immediately drawing Jasmine's attention. She smiled nervously at first, thinking it was just a casual visit, but the look in Rasheeda's eyes made her pause. There was something different today, something heavier, something that screamed trouble. "Hey Jasmine, we need to talk," Rasheeda said, her tone calm but with a sharp edge that made Jasmine's stomach tighten. She nodded, trying to keep her voice steady. "Sure, what's up?" But the moment she opened her mouth, Rasheeda's words came fast, slicing through the air like a knife. "I can't keep pretending everything's fine when it's not. You think you can just walk around here, acting like you own the place, like you're untouchable." Jasmine blinked, taken aback. She had no idea this conversation would turn into the confrontation that everyone is now talking about. I don't know what you mean," Jasmine replied, her voice quivering slightly as anxiety crept in. But Rasheeda wasn't done. "Don't play dumb with me. I see how you're always trying to undermine me, making everyone doubt me. It stops now." Emotions ran high instantly, and what started as tense words quickly escalated. Jasmine's eyes widened as Rasheeda stepped closer, her energy intense, almost explosive. "Rasheeda, wait. I'm not trying to," Jasmine began, but Rasheeda cut her off mid-sentence, waving her hands dramatically. "Don't lie to me. I've seen it all. The whispers, the smirks, the so-called friendly advice. You think I don't notice?" At that moment, the room felt smaller, the air thicker. Every inch of space between them seemed charged with electric tension. A few friends who were outside heard the raised voices and peeked in cautiously, their expressions a mix of concern and disbelief. The family, who had always tried to mediate minor disagreements, suddenly found themselves frozen. No one could have expected Rasheeda to reach this level of frustration, especially not in a dressing room filled with mirrors and the echoes of past conflicts. Jasmine's hands shook slightly as she tried to find her footing. I never meant to. I didn't," she stammered, but Rasheeda wasn't slowing down. "You think it's funny to mess with me? To play games? I've had it, Jasmine. I've really had it." Her voice rose, sharp and demanding, filling the entire space. The confrontation was raw, unfiltered, and unrelenting. Each word felt like fuel poured on a fire, igniting something that had been simmering under the surface for months. Jasmine finally raised her voice too, her fear now mixed with frustration. "You're overreacting. I never said anything to hurt you." But Rasheeda stepped closer, her face inches from Jasmine's, her eyes blazing. "Don't you dare tell me that. I've seen the texts, the side comments, the way you smile when things go wrong. I'm done pretending." Emotions ran high as the verbal clash escalated, each accusation sharper than the last. Friends tried to intervene, stepping in between them, but the storm was too strong. The atmosphere was electric, every person in the room holding their breath, anticipating what might happen next. What followed was a whirlwind of shouting, tears, and gestures that spoke volumes. Rasheeda's hands moved animatedly as she recounted every slight, every perceived betrayal, while Jasmine tried desperately to defend herself. "I never said that about you. You're twisting my words," she cried, frustration turning to desperation. Rasheeda's response was immediate and cutting. "Twisting? No. Jasmine, this is exactly what I've been saying. You're always twisting things, making me doubt myself, making everyone question my loyalty and my heart." The dressing room became a battlefield of words and emotions. Mirrors reflected not just the physical space but the intensity of the drama unfolding. Clothing strewn across the floor added to the chaos, a visual representation of the storm raging between them. Outside, fans and friends were left divided. Some rushed to call for help, while others simply watched in stunned silence. The confrontation was unlike anything they had seen before. Rasheeda, known for keeping her composure in public, had unleashed a side that shocked everyone, and Jasmine, usually composed and calm, was visibly rattled, trying to navigate the verbal onslaught. "Why now? Why here?" Jasmine finally asked, her voice trembling, tears brimming in her eyes. Rasheeda's response was fierce, unrelenting, and raw. "Because I can't keep pretending. I can't let you get away with this anymore. I'm standing up for myself." The tension reached its peak as both women faced each other. Eyes locked, emotions raw and unfiltered. The room felt smaller with every passing second, the air heavier, and the energy almost tangible. Everyone present could feel the history of resentment, misunderstandings, and hidden jealousy spilling out in real time. And then, just when it seemed like the fight couldn't get any more intense, a sudden interruption changed everything. A mutual friend, shaking and pale, stepped between them, holding up her hands. "Please, stop. Just stop for a second." Rasheeda and Jasmine both turned, breathing heavily, their chests heaving with adrenaline. For a brief moment, the room fell silent, the tension lingering like smoke in the air. The friend looked at each of them, desperation etched on her face. "This isn't just about today. There's history here. You're both letting it control you. Think about what you're doing." But Rasheeda's eyes, still blazing, were fixed on Jasmine. "I'm done thinking about what's fair. I'm done letting this slide. Do you understand? I won't be quiet anymore." Jasmine, tears now streaming freely down her face, tried to respond, her voice shaky but determined. "I'm not your enemy, Rasheeda. I never was. But you're acting like I am, and it's tearing us apart." The words hung in the air, heavy and unrelenting. Friends whispered to each other, unsure how to defuse the situation. The family, called in after hearing the commotion, arrived moments later, their expressions a mixture of shock and concern. The confrontation escalated again when Rasheeda turned her frustration into action, slamming a nearby chair against the wall with a loud crash. The sound echoed through the dressing room, startling everyone and making hearts race. "I can't believe this. How dare you? How dare you make me feel this way in my own space?" she shouted, her voice trembling with both anger and hurt. Jasmine flinched but found a reserve of strength she hadn't realized she had. "Rasheeda, you're hurting me. Can't you see what this is doing? Stop." The clash of emotions continued for what felt like an eternity. Each accusation, denial, and shouted word piling on top of the other. Outside, fans who had caught wind of the confrontation were already sharing clips, and social media exploded almost instantly. Hashtags trended, comments poured in, and everyone had an opinion. But nothing captured the raw, unfiltered reality of what was happening inside that room. Rasheeda's voice cracked at one point, a rare glimpse of vulnerability amid the fury. "I trusted you, and look at what it's come to." Jasmine's voice softened slightly, but her determination didn't waver. "I never betrayed you. You're letting your anger make things worse." The room seemed to vibrate with tension, the air thick and suffocating. Even as friends tried to calm them, it was clear this wasn't just a simple disagreement. This was a culmination of months, maybe years, of hidden resentments, misunderstandings, and unspoken feelings finally coming to the surface. And then, in a moment that shocked everyone, Rasheeda moved suddenly, stepping past her friend's attempts to restrain her, her hand pointing accusingly at Jasmine. "I'm not holding back anymore. You think I won't fight for myself? Watch me." The sheer intensity of the moment left everyone frozen. Jasmine, despite the fear and adrenaline, met Rasheeda's gaze steadily. "I'm not afraid of you. Not now, not ever." The words seemed to ignite a final spark, both women's emotions reaching a fever pitch. The confrontation had become more than a dressing room fight, it was a storm of emotions, history, and personal stakes, played out in real time for anyone watching. The mirrors reflected not just their faces, but the drama, the betrayal, and the tension that had been building, unseen by the public until now. Fans would later describe the footage as shocking, unprecedented, and impossible to look away from. The sheer intensity, the raw emotion, and the unexpected twists in the argument had captured the world's attention. Everyone who watched could feel the weight of the confrontation, the heartbreak, and the fury. And they all knew one thing: this fight was far from over. The room remained thick with tension even after the initial explosion of anger had subsided. Rasheeda paced back and forth, her heels clicking against the marble floor, each step echoing like a drumbeat that amplified the anxiety in the room. Jasmine stood near the clothing racks, hands trembling slightly as she tried to collect herself. The mirrors reflected both of them, a visual reminder of the storm that had just passed and the storm that seemed far from over. "You think this is just about today?" Rasheeda snapped suddenly, turning sharply toward Jasmine. "No, Jasmine, this is about everything. Every little comment, every glance, every so-called joke you've made over the past months. I've kept quiet, I've smiled, I've pretended, but I can't anymore." Jasmine swallowed hard, her voice barely above a whisper. I never meant to hurt you. You know that." But Rasheeda shook her head violently, a mixture of anger and disbelief flashing across her face. "You never meant to hurt me. You think words don't hurt. Actions don't hurt. You're living in your little world, Jasmine, but the real world doesn't work that way." A friend tried to intervene, stepping between them cautiously. "Girls, please, let's just take a breath. No one's winning like this." But Rasheeda's glare was sharp, almost cutting through the friend's attempt at calm. "Don't you dare try to stop me. I need to say this, and I need you to hear it." Jasmine's lip quivered as she fought back tears. "I am listening, Rasheeda. Please, just calm down a little." But Rasheeda wasn't ready to calm down. She gestured wildly, almost knocking over a mannequin. "Calm down. After all this, after everything you've done, you think I can just calm down? I've been holding all this in, pretending like it doesn't matter, and it does. It matters more than you'll ever understand." The shouting drew the attention of more friends and even family members who had been waiting outside. Soon, the room was filled with a mixture of shock, fear, and anticipation. No one wanted to step in too forcefully, worried that it might make things worse. Yet everyone could feel that this confrontation was spiraling out of control. Jasmine, gathering what courage she could, finally spoke up more firmly. "Rasheeda, I get that you're upset, but this isn't just about me. You've been holding on to things that maybe aren't even real. We need to talk, not scream at each other." Rasheeda's eyes narrowed, the fire in them unmistakable. "Real, real. Every word, every glance, every smirk you've ever given me has been real to me. Jasmine, you think I'm making this up? You think I'm imagining things? I'm not." A family member, who had been quietly watching from the doorway, finally stepped in. "Rasheeda, please. We all know you're hurt, but this isn't the way. You're letting anger control you." Rasheeda spun around, pointing accusingly. "Anger? Yes, I'm angry. I'm angry because I care too much. I'm angry because I trusted someone I thought was a friend, and maybe I was wrong." The words hung in the air, heavy with emotion. Jasmine's voice shook but held a note of defiance. "I never betrayed you, Rasheeda. I never wanted this to happen. But your anger, it's consuming you. Look around, you're not alone in this. We're all here, trying to help." Rasheeda's breathing was ragged, her body tense, every muscle coiled like a spring ready to snap. "Help, you call this help? Everyone thinks I'm overreacting. Everyone thinks I'm being dramatic. Well, maybe I am. But you know what? I don't care. I'm done pretending I don't feel." The confrontation had become an intricate dance of emotion, accusation, and denial. Every word, every movement carried weight. And everyone in the room could feel the emotional intensity radiating from both women. Friends whispered among themselves, unsure whether to intervene physically or let the confrontation run its course. Outside the dressing room, whispers of the fight had already reached social media, and fans were divided, some defending Rasheeda, others siding with Jasmine, while many were simply stunned by the rawness of the footage. Jasmine, taking a deep breath, tried to shift the conversation, hoping to steer the confrontation toward some form of resolution. "Rasheeda, look, we can't keep doing this. Screaming, blaming. It's tearing everyone apart. Let's talk, really talk, without yelling." But Rasheeda shook her head, her anger not yet spent. Talking is what got us here in the first place. I've talked, I've been patient, I've smiled through it all, and look where we are." The room felt suffocating, tension pressing on everyone's chest. The mirrors reflected the chaos, the clothing scattered across the floor, and the emotions that had been locked inside for too long finally spilling out. Then, unexpectedly, Rasheeda's voice cracked, a rare vulnerability showing through. I just I just wanted you to understand me, Jasmine. Is that too much? Jasmine's own tears flowed freely now, the intensity of the confrontation leaving her exhausted yet determined. I do understand, Rasheeda, but understanding doesn't mean we hurt each other. It means finding a way forward, together. For a brief moment, it seemed like the storm might ease. Rasheeda's shoulders slumped slightly, her hands dropping to her sides as she processed the words. But then, just as quickly, the tension snapped back. Together. After all this, after you've done all this, I don't know if I can ever trust that again. The room erupted once more, voices raised, emotions flaring. Friends tried again to mediate, but the fight had taken on a life of its own. It was no longer just about the immediate confrontation, it was about months, maybe years, of resentment, misunderstandings, and unspoken feelings finally colliding in a spectacular, public way. Outside, fans reacted in real time to the leaked footage, sharing it endlessly, dissecting every word, every gesture, every flicker of expression. The story was everywhere. Fans shocked, comments pouring in, debates raging. Inside, the fight showed no signs of letting up. Rasheeda's energy was unrelenting, a force that left everyone in the room on edge. Jasmine, though shaken, met every accusation with a mix of defense and appeal to reason. I'm not your enemy, Rasheeda. Never was, but you're letting your anger blind you to what's real. Rasheeda's reply was immediate, sharp, and cutting. Blind. I see everything, Jasmine. Every lie, every smile, every betrayal. I'm not blind. I'm awakened. I'm not going back to pretending otherwise. The intensity reached new heights as the argument spiraled, moving from accusations to revelations. Rasheeda disclosed secrets she had kept hidden, her voice trembling with both fury and pain. Jasmine countered with her own truths, the room filled with the sound of raw, emotional honesty. The confrontation had morphed into something larger, more complex, a psychological battlefield, where every word, glance, and gesture carried a weight that neither woman could escape. Every witness in the room, every friend, family member, and even the security personnel felt the pressure of the drama unfolding. The energy was so intense that even small noises, a dropped hanger, a shifting footsteps, seemed magnified, punctuating the chaos. And then, in a moment that shocked everyone, Rasheeda moved suddenly, stepping forward with a hand raised. Not in violence, but in dramatic emphasis. I'm not going to let this go. I'm not going to let you hurt me anymore. Jasmine, though visibly shaken, stood her ground. I'm not trying to hurt you. I want this to stop before it gets worse. The room seemed to hold its breath, watching as these two forces collided with words, emotion, and history. The conflict was far from over, and every person in that dressing room knew that this was a turning point. The storm that had begun with raised voices and anger had now become a full-blown emotional spectacle, one that would be analyzed, dissected, and talked about for weeks to come. Fans around the world would watch the footage, shocked at the intensity, the vulnerability, and the unexpected twists that made this confrontation unforgettable. No one could have predicted how far it would go, and as Rasheeda and Jasmine faced each other, raw and unfiltered, the drama continued to escalate, leaving everyone in suspense about what would happen next. The tension showed no sign of letting up as the confrontation continued, and the room felt smaller with every passing second. Rasheeda's eyes burned with fury, her voice a mix of anger and raw emotion. You think this is just about today? No, Jasmine, this is about every little thing you've done to undermine me, every whisper, every smirk behind my back. I see it all, and I'm done pretending it doesn't hurt. Jasmine, her own emotions spilling over now, raised her hands as if to shield herself from the verbal storm. Rasheeda, I never did anything to hurt you. You're twisting everything, making it bigger than it really is. The words only seemed to ignite Rasheeda further. She took a step closer, pointing a finger at Jasmine, the intensity in her gaze unmistakable. Twisting. No, Jasmine, I've been patient. I've smiled. I've ignored the comments, the looks, the games you play. But I can't anymore. I'm standing up for myself, whether you like it or not. Friends and family in the room exchanged worried glances, unsure whether to intervene or let the confrontation play out. The emotional energy was almost tangible, thickening the air and making every breath feel heavier. A close friend tried to step in, placing a calming hand on Rasheeda's arm. Rasheeda, please, just take a moment. Breathe. This isn't helping anyone. Rasheeda flinched at the touch but didn't back down. Don't touch me. I don't need calming. I need to be heard. Her words cut through the room, each syllable laced with frustration and hurt. Jasmine, desperate to regain some control, tried to reason with her. Rasheeda, listen to me. Screaming and pointing won't solve anything. We need to talk this through. Rasheeda's laugh was sharp, almost bitter. Talk. Do you think talking would have stopped this months ago? Do you think talking would have changed all the things you've done? The conversation escalated further, voices rising, emotions unraveling. Rasheeda's hands gestured wildly, nearly knocking over a chair, while Jasmine's voice wavered, but stayed strong. I never meant to hurt you. Can't you see that? Never meant to hurt me. Rasheeda shot back, her voice cracking with a mix of fury and pain. You've done enough already. Every little comment, every glance, every whispered word behind my back, it's all adding up. Jasmine. The mirrors lining the dressing room reflected the chaos, every expression amplified, every tear visible, every flash of anger magnified. The argument had evolved into a clash of truths and perceptions, a collision of raw emotion and unspoken resentments. Family members tried to intervene again, stepping cautiously between them. Girls, enough. This is getting out of hand. But Rasheeda waved them off, her eyes locked on Jasmine. Enough. I've had enough for years, and I'm not stopping now. I need to be heard. Jasmine, her own voice rising despite the tears streaming down her face, responded with determination. I'm listening, but you're not hearing me. You're so focused on what you think I did. You're not seeing the real me, the one who never wanted this fight. The confrontation reached a boiling point, each accusation, each defense, each tear adding fuel to a fire that had been smoldering silently for months. Outside, fans who had gotten wind of the incident were already sharing clips, comments pouring in, debates igniting, and the footage going viral almost instantly. The intensity inside mirrored the chaos outside. The dressing room becoming a focal point of shock, fascination, and disbelief. Rasheeda, her voice rising again, pointed toward Jasmine dramatically. I trusted you. I believed in you. And look at what it's come to. This isn't just about clothes or events, it's about respect, trust, and loyalty. Jasmine, voice trembling but firm, tried to counter. I never betrayed you. I never wanted to hurt you. But your anger is blinding you to the truth. The clash of words, emotion, and history reached a crescendo. The energy in the room electric, every onlooker holding their breath. Friends and family tried to mediate, stepping cautiously between the two. But the momentum of the confrontation seemed unstoppable. Then, unexpectedly, Rasheeda slammed a hand against a nearby counter, making the mirrors rattle and the room flinch with the sound. I'm not playing games anymore. Do you hear me? I'm done pretending I don't feel everything I feel. Jasmine, tears streaming, stood her ground. I'm not your enemy, Rasheeda. I never was. But this fight is tearing us apart. The room seemed to pulse with emotion, each word carrying weight, each gesture reflecting months of pent-up feelings. The confrontation had become more than a verbal fight, it was a spectacle of raw human emotion, history, and tension, played out in real time for anyone watching. Fans described the footage as shocking, unprecedented, and impossible to look away from. The drama was real, unfiltered, and completely mesmerizing. Rasheeda, in a rare moment of vulnerability, admitted, I just wanted you to see me, to understand me. Is that too much? Jasmine's own voice softened slightly, but her determination didn't falter. I do understand, Rasheeda, but understanding doesn't mean we hurt each other. It means finding a way forward. For a fleeting second, it seemed the storm might settle, but Rasheeda's response shattered that hope instantly. Forward. After everything. After you've done everything you've done. I don't know if I can ever trust again. The room erupted once more, voices clashing, emotions exploding, and the air thick with tension. Friends whispered among themselves, unsure whether to physically restrain anyone or let the confrontation continue. Outside, social media users debated endlessly, shocked by the intensity and the emotional rawness captured on camera. Inside, the confrontation reached a critical point, a crossroads of emotion, history, and personal stakes. Rasheeda and Jasmine, despite exhaustion, faced each other, eyes locked, breathing heavy. The intensity of their emotions, raw and undeniable. Rasheeda's voice shook with both fury and vulnerability. I'm not holding back anymore. Do you hear me? I'm done pretending. Jasmine, despite the adrenaline and tears, stood firm. I'm not afraid of you. Not now, not ever. The emotional battle continued, spiraling with every word, gesture, and glance. The mirrors reflected the chaos, the tension, and the unfiltered drama, amplifying it for everyone in the room. The storm was far from over, and everyone present knew that what was happening wasn't just a fight, it was a spectacle that would be remembered, discussed, and dissected for a long time to come. Fans, family, and friends alike could feel the weight of the confrontation. the heartbreak, and the fury, knowing that this was a pivotal moment that could change everything. The storm inside the dressing room mirrored the storm outside, in the hearts and minds of everyone watching, and it was clear, the drama was far from finished. The argument showed no sign of slowing, and the tension in the dressing room was nearly suffocating. Rasheeda's face was flushed, her eyes fiery, each word dripping with the intensity of months of pent-up frustration. You think you can just walk around here, smiling, acting like everything's fine, when behind my back, it's all a game, she shouted, her voice echoing off the walls and bouncing back from the mirrors. Jasmine, shaking but determined, took a step forward, trying to maintain composure. Rasheeda, stop twisting this. I never wanted this. I never did anything to hurt you. But Rasheeda wasn't having it. She pointed a finger at Jasmine, her hands trembling from the adrenaline. Don't lie to me. I've seen it all. The texts, the looks, the whispers. Do you think I'm blind? Friends and family members tried once again to mediate, placing themselves cautiously between the two women. Please, just breathe. We can talk this out without yelling. One friend pleaded. Rasheeda's glare was sharp, her energy relentless. Breathe. No, I'm done breathing quietly. I need to be heard. I need to make this stop. Jasmine's voice cracked as tears streaked her face. I'm listening, but screaming and blaming isn't helping. We need to calm down. The emotional intensity continued to climb. And then, unexpectedly, Rasheeda's hands flew up in exasperation, almost knocking over a clothing rack. I'm done pretending. I've kept quiet for too long. You think I wouldn't notice? You think I'd ignore it? I can't anymore. The confrontation was now a whirlwind of emotion, history, and raw tension. Mirrors reflected the chaos, amplifying every gesture, every expression, every tear, and every angry glare. Jasmine's voice, though trembling, carried determination. I never betrayed you. I never wanted this to happen. Look at me, Rasheeda, please. Rasheeda shook her head violently. You don't get it? Every time you smiled when things went wrong, every little comment, every tiny glance, it all added up, and I'm not letting it slide. A family member stepped in cautiously, trying to reason with Rasheeda. This isn't just about you two. Everyone here is affected. Can we please try to talk it through? But Rasheeda's response was fierce and immediate. Talking is what got us here. I've tried talking, being patient, keeping my cool, and look where it's led. Do you hear me? I'm done. Jasmine's tears fell freely now, her emotions raw and unguarded. Rasheeda, I'm not your enemy. I never was. Please, don't let this destroy us. Rasheeda's voice broke slightly, revealing a hint of vulnerability amid the fury. You don't understand. I trusted you, I believed in you, and look at what it's come to. The room's energy reached a fever pitch as both women faced each other, the mirrors capturing the intensity in every reflection. The confrontation became more than words. It was a clash of emotions, history, and personal stakes. The family was divided, friends were anxious, and every breath in the room was heavy with anticipation. Then, Rasheeda stepped back for a brief moment, her chest heaving, as if realizing the gravity of the situation. I just wanted to be heard. Is that so wrong? Jasmine's voice softened, but she remained firm. No, it's not wrong. But the way you're expressing it, it's hurting everyone, especially me. Rasheeda's hands trembled as she gestured toward the mirrors, her reflection multiplying the intensity of the moment. Hurting you, maybe, but I can't keep pretending it doesn't matter. Every lie, every betrayal, every whisper has mattered more than you know. Friends whispered nervously, unsure whether to step in physically or let the confrontation play out. The storm of emotions had grown uncontrollable, each accusation, denial, and tear fueling the next round of shouting. Social media was already ablaze outside, fans dissecting every frame of leaked footage. Debates raging about who was at fault, who overreacted, and what had triggered the confrontation. The drama inside mirrored the chaos online, each moment more shocking than the last. Jasmine, wiping her tears, finally found a voice of reason amid the chaos. Rasheeda, I want this to stop before it gets worse. We can work through this, but we have to listen to each other, not just yell. Rasheeda's eyes flashed, her emotions a tangled mix of anger and heartbreak. Listen, you've been listening all along, pretending to care, smiling while I suffered quietly. I can't do it anymore. I need to fight for myself. The room was a pressure cooker of emotions, history, and raw tension, and no one dared predict what would happen next. Every glance, every gesture, every shouted word carried weight, and the emotional stakes were higher than ever. Then, in a sudden escalation, Rasheeda slammed a nearby chair to the floor. the sound reverberating through the room and causing everyone to jump. I'm done. I'm done pretending. The volume of her voice, the raw emotion, and the shock of the act left the room frozen. Jasmine's voice quivered, yet she held her ground. Rasheeda, please. I'm not trying to hurt you. I want peace. Rasheeda's next words were almost a roar, filled with both pain and defiance. Peace. After all this, after everything you've done, I don't know if peace is possible anymore. The intensity continued to rise, the mirrors capturing the rawness, the vulnerability, and the fury in every reflection. The confrontation had become a spectacle of emotion, unfiltered and unforgettable. Friends, family, and onlookers all felt the gravity of the moment, unable to intervene without risking escalation. Every second that passed seemed to push the emotional tension further, every word a spark threatening to ignite the entire room. Rasheeda's voice softened slightly, revealing a crack in the armor. I wanted you to understand me, to really see me. Is that too much to ask? Jasmine, with tears streaming, responded, her voice a mix of sadness and resolve. I do understand, Rasheeda. But understanding doesn't mean we destroy each other. It means finding a way forward, even if it's hard. For a brief moment, it seemed like there might be a pause, a chance to catch a breath. But Rasheeda's words shattered that fragile hope. Forward. After everything, after the lies, the games, the betrayal, I don't know if I can ever trust again. The room exploded once more, voices clashing, emotions raging, tension thickening, and the confrontation continuing with unstoppable intensity. Fans, watching the leaked footage, were left in disbelief, shocked by the rawness, the emotion, and the unexpected twists that made this dressing room showdown impossible to look away from. Inside, Rasheeda and Jasmine faced each other, breathless, eyes locked, emotion unfiltered, the drama far from over. Every reflection in the mirror captured the ongoing intensity. Each movement, each expression, a testament to the storm that had been unleashed. The storm inside the dressing room had now become larger than life, echoing in the hearts of everyone present, leaving no doubt. This was a confrontation that would be remembered, dissected, and talked about for weeks to come. The intensity didn't let up, and the dressing room felt like a pressure cooker ready to explode at any moment. Rasheeda's voice was sharp, trembling with emotion, every word carrying the weight of months, maybe years, of suppressed feelings. Do you think you can just waltz in here, smiling, acting like nothing ever happened? Do you think I wouldn't notice? Jasmine, now visibly shaking, raised her hands, trying to create space between them. Rasheeda, please. I never meant to hurt you. You're twisting things. But Rasheeda's eyes blazed, the heat of her anger and pain impossible to ignore. Twisting? No. I've held it all inside for too long. Every look, every whisper, every comment, it's all adding up, and I'm done. Friends and family members cautiously tried to mediate, stepping between the two, but the emotional momentum was unstoppable. One friend raised their voice, pleading, please, just breathe. Think about what you're doing. Rasheeda flinched, but her intensity didn't waver. Don't tell me to breathe. I've been holding it in for months, years, and now I'm letting it out. Do you hear me? I'm letting it out. The room seemed to vibrate with tension. Mirrors reflected not just their images but the raw, unfiltered emotions, the raised voices, the flushed faces, and the tears that glistened in Jasmine's eyes. Jasmine tried once more, her voice trembling but resolute. Rasheeda, screaming won't fix this. I want to understand, but you have to hear me too. Rasheeda's response was immediate, sharp, and cutting. Hear you. I've been hearing you. I've been patient. I've smiled. I've pretended like it didn't hurt. But it did, Jasmine. It hurt more than you'll ever know. The confrontation escalated, each word a spark, each glance a flashpoint. Rasheeda's hand gestured wildly, nearly tipping over a mannequin, her energy unrelenting. I trusted you. I believed in you. And this is what I get. Jasmine, tears now freely falling, fought to maintain composure. Rasheeda, I never betrayed you. I never wanted this. Can't you see that? But Rasheeda's anger didn't subside. Betrayed. You think smiling when things went wrong was harmless? You think your jokes, your side comments, your little manipulations didn't matter? I see it all, Jasmine, and I won't ignore it anymore. The air in the room was thick, heavy with tension, each person present feeling the weight of the emotional storm. Family members whispered among themselves, unsure how to intervene without making things worse, while friends attempted to stay calm, hoping to find a way to diffuse the intensity. Social media outside had already erupted, fans dissecting every clip, every expression, every word. Debates raged, opinions clashed, and the footage quickly went viral. Inside, The confrontation had become a full-blown spectacle of human emotion, raw, messy, and impossible to ignore. Rasheeda's voice broke slightly, the rawness of her vulnerability finally peeking through. I just wanted you to understand me. To see me, is that too much to ask? Jasmine, voice quivering, stepped closer, trying to bridge the gap between anger and understanding. I do understand, Rasheeda. But understanding doesn't mean destroying each other. It means working through this, together, even if it's painful. For a fleeting second, the tension seemed to ease, but Rasheeda's words shattered that hope immediately. Together? After everything. After the lies, the betrayal, the games. I don't know if I can ever trust again. The shouting resumed, louder than before, echoing through the mirrors, bouncing back from the walls, and making every movement and gesture more dramatic, more charged. Friends and family tried again to mediate, but the energy in the room was a living thing, unstoppable, growing more intense with every second. Jasmine, desperate to reach through to Rasheeda, shouted over the chaos. Rasheeda, please. This isn't helping either of us. We can fix this if we stop yelling. Rasheeda's laughter was sharp, almost bitter. Fix this? After all the smiles when things went wrong. After all the pretending. No, Jasmine, there's no fixing what's been broken. The confrontation had reached a point of no return, a collision of raw emotion, personal history, and intense frustration. Mirrors reflected it all, the anger, the tears, the desperation, and every person in the room felt the weight of it. Outside, fans continued to share, comment, and debate, each clip more shocking than the last. Inside, Rasheeda and Jasmine's voices rose and fell, the room a whirlwind of accusation, defense, and unfiltered emotion. At one point, Rasheeda slammed her hand against a counter, rattling the mirrors and startling everyone. I'm done pretending. The force of her words echoed, every onlooker frozen by the rawness of it all. Jasmine, though exhausted, stood her ground. I'm not your enemy. I never was. I just want this to stop. Rasheeda's eyes softened momentarily, revealing a glimpse of the hurt behind the fury. You don't understand. I trusted you. I believed in you. And look at what it's become. The confrontation was now more than a fight. It was a spectacle of emotion, history, and human vulnerability, impossible to look away from. Every gesture, every expression, every tear was amplified in the mirrors, reflecting not just the room but the weight of their shared past. Friends, family, and security personnel watched helplessly, feeling the intensity of the moment, knowing this was a turning point that could change everything. Rasheeda, voice breaking, pleaded, I just wanted to be seen, to be understood. Is that too much? Jasmine, her voice calm yet determined amid the storm, replied, no, but hurting each other isn't the answer. We need a way forward. Rasheeda's hands trembled as she gestured wildly. Forward. After everything. After the lies. The betrayals. I don't know if I can ever go forward. The emotional tension rose higher, each second charged with unresolved feelings, history, and personal stakes. The dressing room had become more than a place to try on outfits, it had become a battleground of emotions. Raw and exposed, a scene that fans would dissect endlessly. The storm inside the room mirrored the storm outside, in the hearts of everyone watching, both physically present and online. Knowing this confrontation was far from over, the energy was electric, the emotions raw, and as Rasheeda and Jasmine faced each other, unfiltered and breathless, the drama continued to unfold, leaving everyone stunned and eager to see what would happen next. And there you have it, the full intensity of the dressing room showdown between Rasheeda and Jasmine. A confrontation that has left everyone stunned, speechless, and completely glued to their screens. From the moment Rasheeda's anger erupted, emotions ran high, tears were shed, accusations flew, and the room became a battleground for feelings that had been simmering for far too long. You saw every raw, unfiltered moment, every glare, every trembling hand, every tear, every shout, and every desperate plea for understanding. The drama was so intense that even those present couldn't fully process it in real time, and fans around the world are still trying to piece together what it all means, debating who was right, who overreacted, and who was truly hurt in this tangled web of conflict. Now, it's your turn to weigh in. We want to hear from you about what you think really happened behind the scenes. Do you believe Rasheeda had every reason to snap at Jasmine, or was Jasmine's reaction justified? Did past misunderstandings play a bigger role than we realized? Or was this confrontation the tipping point after months of tension? Maybe there's more going on that the footage doesn't show, and fans are already speculating about hidden secrets, alliances, and betrayals that could explain why emotions escalated to such an extreme degree. Your opinion matters because this story isn't just about what happened in the dressing room. It's about the way people process anger, trust, and relationships when history and personal stakes collide. The fact that both women showed vulnerability amid the chaos makes the story even more compelling, leaving fans conflicted and fascinated, trying to understand both sides while feeling the emotional intensity themselves. Imagine standing in that room, watching the tension build, feeling your heart race with every accusation, every tear, and every exclamation. It's impossible not to be caught up in it. And that's why we're asking you, our viewers, to be part of the conversation. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Tell us who you side with, who you feel was more at fault, and what you think the outcome should be. Are Rasheeda and Jasmine capable of reconciliation, or has this fight pushed them too far? Fans are debating endlessly, but your insight could add another perspective to the discussion. This video isn't just entertainment, it's a chance to analyze the complexity of human emotion, the dynamics of friendships under pressure, and how misunderstandings can spiral into explosive confrontations. Every comment, every theory, every perspective shared here adds to the larger conversation and keeps the story alive far beyond the initial shock of the footage. And if you enjoyed seeing the drama unfold in real time, don't forget to give this video a like. Hitting that like button not only supports the channel, but it also signals that you appreciate content that dives deep into the heart of reality TV drama, uncovering the hidden layers of emotion, betrayal, and tension that make these stories unforgettable. Subscribing is even more important if you want to stay updated on every twist and turn in the lives of your favorite reality stars. By subscribing, you'll get access to every new video we post, giving you a front row seat to all the drama, reactions, and behind-the-scenes insights that you won't find anywhere else. Turn on notifications too, so you're the first to know when a shocking new video drops. From raw fight footage to exclusive insider stories, every video is designed to keep you informed, entertained, and part of the conversation. And don't hold back in the comments, your opinion is part of the story. Do you think Rasheeda and Jasmine will ever speak again without tension? Do you believe there are still secrets lurking behind the scenes that could ignite another confrontation? Fans are already speculating, creating theories, and debating endlessly, but we want to hear what you think. Your comment could spark a conversation that adds even more drama to the story. Remember, this isn't just about watching a fight, it's about being part of the culture, being part of a fan base that analyzes every moment, every glance, and every word, trying to understand the people behind the personalities. Your engagement matters, your opinion counts, and your voice is part of the community. So drop a comment below, like the video, and subscribe for more content that brings you closer to the action than anyone else. Every like, every share, and every comment helps the channel grow, which means more coverage, more footage, and more drama delivered directly to you. We'll continue to follow Rasheeda and Jasmine's story, breaking down every development, analyzing every reaction, and keeping you in the loop about what's happening in their world. By subscribing and engaging, you become part of the unfolding story, part of the discussion that fans everywhere are having, and part of a community that thrives on the real, raw, and sometimes shocking moments that reality TV delivers. So don't wait, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and join the conversation. We want to hear from you about this unforgettable confrontation. Who do you think came out stronger? Who do you think is really at fault? And what do you hope happens next? Your insight is valuable, your opinion matters, and your voice adds to the story in a way that makes every new video even more exciting. Fans are watching, reacting, debating, and now it's your turn to join them. This is more than just a fight, it's a phenomenon, a cultural moment, and a dramatic turning point in a story that's far from over. Don't miss a second of the drama. Be part of it. Like, comment, subscribe, and let us know what you think about Rasheeda snapping at Jasmine in the dressing room and the shocking footage that has fans talking nonstop. Your engagement shapes the narrative, fuels the discussion, and keeps the story alive. So, what are you waiting for? Jump into the conversation, make your voice heard, and be part of a community that thrives on every dramatic moment, every shocking revelation, and every emotional twist that reality TV delivers. Stay connected, stay vocal, and stay part of the drama because this story is only just beginning. And the next chapter could shock everyone even more. Fans are watching, we're watching, and now it's your turn to weigh in. Let's make this conversation as unforgettable as the footage itself. Your comment could be the one that sparks the next big debate. Your opinion could be the perspective everyone wants to hear. Don't just watch, participate. Join the drama, be part of the story, and make your voice count. Like, comment, and subscribe now, because Rasheeda and Jasmine's story isn't over, and neither is the conversation.